Hi, let's start playing Zombicide 2nd Edition. This is all you need to know to play. The goal of the game is to work together in order to complete the mission. This could be anything from grabbing these objective tokens to killing tons of zombies. You lose the game if the survivor dies, or if any special mission rules say so. A game round in Zombicide has 3 phases: the player phase, zombie phase, and end phase. The player phase is where each of your survivors can perform at least 3 actions, things like moving, attacking, or searching. The zombie phase is where zombies can move, attack, and spawn. The end phase is where noise tokens are removed and the first player marker is passed off to the left. Before we get to the player phase, take a look at your dashboard. It acts as a way to track how many wounds you can take before death, which items you're holding in your hands, which cards are in your backpack, how many adrenaline points you have, we'll get to those later, and which skills you choose as you level up. The player phase starts with the first player. They'll pick one of their survivors to activate first and keep activating until all of their survivors have gone. Then the next clockwise player will do the same. When activating a survivor, they start with 3 actions. You can use an action to do one of the following: move, trade or reorganize, search, make noise, open a door, activate or take an objective, or combat. Nothing. You can forfeit any number of actions if you have nothing else for your survivor to do. To move, simply move your survivor into one adjacent zone. A zone is any box formed by the crosswalks or a room in a building. A couple things: you can't move diagonally, through walls, or close doors. And moving out of a zone with zombies costs 1 extra action per zombie. Trade or reorganize. If you are in the same zone as another survivor, you can swap, give, or take as many cards between each other that you'd like. Afterwards, you can both reorganize, which just means you can move your cards around between your hands and backpack. Keep in mind, most weapons need to be in either hand to use. Search. You can search only once per turn if you are inside a building and there are no zombies in your zone. If you are able to search, then draw an equipment card and reorganize for free. Or if you don't want it, you can discard it. By the way, you can discard any card at any time. Make noise. You can make noise if you want to try to draw the zombies towards you and away from something else. This just puts a noise token in your zone. Noise tokens might attract zombies. Open door. Unless the mission says otherwise, you can use an equipped weapon that has this symbol to turn a closed door into an open door. It might put a noise token in that zone if it has this symbol. Otherwise, if it has this symbol, then it is silent. Keep in mind, when you first open a door to a building, zombies spawn in the dark zones, so it might be dangerous. Activate or take an objective. For 1 action, you can take or activate the objective marker. Mission rules will have the specific effects for what it does, but taking an objective gets you 5 AP, which is marked on your dashboard. One last thing you can activate are these crates, which have special pimp weapons in them. To do so, you'll draw a card from the red deck. Combat. Another action you can do is an attack. This is using either weapon in your hand to make a ranged or melee attack. Despite the type of attack, the cards all read the same. For melee attacks, indicated by this symbol, you have a range of 0, you roll this many dice, and you score a hit on any dice showing 4 or more. This last number is the damage that it does, and this attack is silent, so no noise tokens. That 0 range just means that you can only attack zombies in the same zone as your survivor. The amount of damage a weapon does tells you what kind of zombie it can kill, not how many. A 1 damage weapon can kill zombies and runners, 2 damage can kill fatties, 3 damage can kill abominations. If you have 2 of the same weapon and it has this dual symbol, then you can use them at the same time for 1 action, so roll enough dice for both cards. For ranged attacks, this has a range of 0 to 1 zone, you roll this many dice, hit on rolls of 5+, 1 damage. This attack does make noise, so a noise token will go in your zone, and this is the ammo type. Each miss on a ranged attack will automatically damage any friendly survivors in the targeted zone, so be careful. The range of 0 to 1 means we can shoot at zombies in our zone, which is range 0, or 1 zone away, as long as we can see it, which is also called having line of sight. When your survivor is outside, they can see in straight lines down roads. They can also see a zone with an open door if it is in their sight line or they're next to it. They cannot see in diagonal lines, through walls or closed doors, or beyond the zone of an open door. When your survivor is inside, they can only see into the room next to them as long as there is an opening in the wall. But if they're in a zone with an open door, they can also see in a straight line out of that as well. On ranged attacks, every successful dice hit that you have, damage is applied first to fatties and abominations, then walkers, then runners. This means if you roll 2 successful damage 1 hits on a zone full of only walkers, you can remove 2 of them. However, if that zone had a fatty in it, you would do no damage at all because fatties are attacked first and only harmed by damage 2 or greater. Keep in mind, if you're making a melee attack, you can simply choose what your target is, and misses don't hurt your fellow survivors. If you have a Molotov card, it will kill everything in a range 1 zone of your choice. Abominations, fatties, zombies, survivors, everything. If you spend an action to attack with a weapon that says reload, then it'll cost another action to reload it if you plan to attack with it again. If you trade a weapon without reloading it, then the new owner has to reload it to shoot it. If you have 2 of the same dual weapons, 1 action point will reload them both. Finally, all weapons are reloaded for free at the start of a new game round. For each zombie you eliminate in combat, you gain 1 adrenaline point. Killing an abomination or taking an objective gets you 5 points. When your tracker gets into these different colors, you'll start gaining benefits like an extra action or a skill. You can only choose 1 per color when you level up. Skills give you different benefits like extra actions or special moves. All survivors start with their blue skill, and if you're playing as a child, then you automatically get the slippery skill. All of the different skills can be found in the rulebook or card backs. Last thing about skills, some cards give you a skill when they're in your inventory, and some weapons, like the sniper rifle here, give you the skill when you use it. And that's it for the player phase. Again, you'll start with at least 3 actions to either move, trade or reorganize, search, make noise, take or activate an objective, open a door, combat, or do nothing. Once all players have gone, the zombie phase begins. Zombies start their turn by attacking. Any survivor in the same zone as a zombie gets an automatic wound for each zombie. Don't forget that if a survivor dies, the mission is lost. The zombies that cannot attack will move. All you really need to know is that they'll move towards the noisiest survivor that they can see. But if no one is in their line of sight, they'll start heading towards the noisiest zone. There's also a chance that a group of zombies might split up if there are multiple paths that are equally distant and noisy survivors. Keep a special lookout for these zombies, the runners. They get 2 activations, so they can move twice, or move and attack, or attack you twice. And they're last in that targeting order we talked about, so they're especially tricky to kill. Last step for the zombie phase, new zombies can appear based off of your AP level. Starting with spawn point 1 and going clockwise, zombies will spawn according to the color of the highest survivor AP level. More experience equals more danger. Keep in mind, some spawn cards can be particularly brutal and grant extra moves or attacks, so you're never truly safe. Additionally, if you run out of miniatures for a spawn point, place what you can, and then each zombie of that type gets an immediate activation. Yikes. After spawning happens, the zombie phase is over, and we go to the end phase, which is very simple. All noise tokens are removed and the first player token moves to the left. And that's all you need to know how to play. I didn't cover any special rules, but usually the mission will outline those. And if you enjoyed my video, please consider subscribing. I've included some helpful references that you can pause and take a look at during your game. Until next time, have fun!